when Alan is in the doghouse and the coach aligns with the GM, then Blueberry will guide the team, and Petro will wax steam. This is the dawning of the age of vengeance. Age of vengeance. Edmonton and Parade go. O'Reilly and Terracing go. No more blows on goals. The dreaded goalie. Shutouts and winning streaks. Fans through liberation. Bennington. When Alan is in the doghouse and the coach aligns with the GM, then Blueberry will guide the team, and Petro will wax steam. This is the dawning of the age of vengeance. Age of vengeance.
Hockey Fan Report. This is Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan. And I am joined by the ever-present, the always beautiful, and the intelligent Miss Ashley Slapshot Jones.
I have to agree with Jose.
Yeah. You know what? It's funny. And no matter how bad I sing, it was still pretty good. And you know what? It's still better than the crap we have to talk about today.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Right? Let's start off with, so how many of you, I'm going to show a clip. I want to know how many of you remember this clip that I'm going to show, and it has a very good, strong connection to today's game, or today, what we're going to talk about today. And I'm going to sit there and say that a lot of people will say that he did it again. I'm going to say the exact opposite. I'm going to say it got done to him. And we'll show it here in just a second. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I think so.
You think so? Well, let's see if I can find the right thing. I tried to set it up but you can only set up one tab at a time. So that kind of like prevents me from like setting up 4 or 5 right away, right?
Yep.
And here we go. Let me show. Oh, I got the right thing. Let me click on here and bring it up. Here we go. This is, see how many remember this?
Blocked and it leads to the Sharks coming back the other way. Suter into the zone. Centering pass gloved out of midair by Bergevin. How long did he have that puck in his glove? Now the puck's in the net. The puck is in the net.
I think Marc Bergevin may have thrown that puck into his own goal.
Now the goal light went out, folks, but no official made any indication of anything.
It looked like Marc Bergevin was trying to catch the puck. I'm not sure if he touched it or not. Let's see if we can pick it up. Roman Turek, puck just kind of crosses in front.
Oh, my goodness, that's easily in the net. But the question is, how did it get there? There's Bergevin. That's where I thought he had it. Oh, he did.
He did. He threw it right in his own goal.
You remember that?
Yes, I do.
Right? That is Marc Bergevin, who threw the goal into his own net back in 2000, in December 2000, on that 99-2000 team, the President's Cup team. And I think that was the President's Cup team. And they, Bergevin was a member of that. Now, Bergevin here for the last 4 or 5 years, maybe a little bit longer, has been the GM of the Montreal Canadiens. And that was until yesterday. The Montreal Canadiens have relieved him of his duties. I don't agree with this, right?
I don't either, but honestly, the team is definitely tanking. They are nowhere near where we would have expected them to be at, considering that they made it to the finals last season. So they're trying to go from the top down, to fix it.
Okay.
I don't agree with it, but that is one method to try and, rebuild a team.
Well, here's the issue and the problem with all of that. It's unrealistic expectations that got Bergevin fired. Now, look,
I agree.
you have teams that somehow, some way, catch lightning in a bottle and make it all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals. And one of the biggest that I can ever think of, and I want to make sure I get this year right. I want to say it was either 92 or 93, and that was the year that Chicago won the President's Trophy. The Blues were 1 point behind Chicago. This was in the Norris Division. And the Minnesota North Stars were fourth. They beat Chicago. They beat St. Louis, the top two teams in the league. Then they beat, I think it was Vancouver, and played Pittsburgh in the Stanley Cup Finals and Pittsburgh wins their first cup. That is a definition of catching lightning in a bottle. That's what I think. And if you go and look at what Montreal did last season, they did the same thing, just like Dallas did the year before them, right? In the bubble, Dallas caught lightning in a bottle, makes it all the way to the finals, gets beat by Tampa Bay, right? They don't even make the playoffs the next year. They're like fifth in the Central Division, right? In my eyes, right now, I think that they've done the wrong thing. I think that they've taken what was a team that was building and could have really, really had something going next year or the year after and destroyed it. Now, here's the part of this that hurts my heart the most. I love Jake Allen. I have always loved Jake Allen, right? He has been one of my favorite players for a long time. I love the Moose. I thought he was just one of the greatest guys out there. I see you, bud. Give me a moment. One of the greatest guys out there. And to see him fail like this is heart-wrenching. But at the same time, I kind of, if you remember when we were talking about previews and goalie tandems, I kind of told you when Carey Price took his leave, I was concerned about this.
Yeah.
Because I had a goalie coach, and I can't say who, tell me offline that Jake Allen is downright one of the best. Lance, I sent you a link if you want to come on, bud. I'm one of the best technical goalies out there. He has a lot of skill. But when it's all on him, he freezes up. It's when he has a strong backup that he does better, right? And that's where I think it was like that. I want to get where some people are saying here. I don't want to get where we're lost. Mike Dante says, just goes to show you anybody's job is expendable no matter how good you did the year prior. With the Bergevin situation, I agree. Brad Pond is looking for a St. Louis Blues Santa hat. If someone knows where one is, can you send Brad a message and let him know how he can get that? Now, Brad's up in Canada, so it might be a little harder to get to him. Lance says the issue with Montreal go much further than simply just fine Bergevin, and I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. That there's the issue with Montreal absolutely comes down to thinking, and we'll talk about that in a second. I want to bring in our buddy and our pal here. I asked him to join. Hey, Chris, how you doing today, buddy?
Hey guys, doing good. Sorry I'm a little tardy over there. I was messing with the screen protector on my phone trying to get it straightened out.
Oh, no problem. But see, I know we don't bring you in all the time, but I know you went out and got that neat little contraption, to help you better on the show. So I figured, if you're going to do that, I'm gonna bring you in if I can. So I hope you're okay with that, buddy.
Oh yes, absolutely. In fact, you just said it right there. That is the exact reason why I got it.
Oh, I know, and
actually, I got this on the Black Friday sale, JCPenney's.
Yeah, I mean, it's for you for coming in, sparingly like you do. It's great. For Ashley being a co-host, we got to get her a little better setup. We're gonna talk to her and see what we can come up with as a better setup for her. I need her quality and I'm not saying yours bad. I need hers to be, closer to what I got. So don't. I know that sounds bad, but it's not meant to be bad. I hope that comes out okay. Right?
Right. No, I got you.
Bergevin was the one. So they're talking about Bergevin knew something was up when they left Price unprotected. They didn't make any unemotional moves to get solid starting goaling. I don't completely think that was it. I think Lance got to here. Bergevin left him unprotected. They knew that Seattle wasn't going to take him. Seattle had basically, the way they had looked at guys, they were not looking at salary. They were looking young, and they were staying young. And I think everyone knew that. That's why I'll tell you what, I think that's exactly why Tarasenko got left unprotected and not all that trade crap.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I think that had a lot more to do with him. Because be honest, right? If you're Seattle and you have the chance, you have Tarasenko and Dunn sitting there. Why take Dunn? Right? Tarasenko. I mean, it's $7 million. And they had to hit like $56 million in salary cap in that draft. So they couldn't just take low-level guys, right? They had to take guys that were making money. So they had a floor they had to hit. Here's a guy supposedly disgruntled, wants out, all this. Why not take it? Because that wasn't what their plan was. And I think Armstrong absolutely knew it. I think that's why he left him unprotected. I don't think it was a trade stuff, and I think it was Barbashev. Okay, if I know they're going young, and if I leave Barbashev unprotected, they're going to take Barbashev over Dunn. I'll tell you what, I'd have done the same thing. I'd have gone to Tarasenko and said, hey, man, I kind of think that they won't take you. I'm going to leave you unprotected, so don't take anything by this. I know they're going young. They've kind of let us know that. I want to keep Barbashev here, and I think you do too. So that's why we're going to do that, so we can protect Barbashev. Are you okay with it? I think that's what happened, to be honest with you.
I honestly don't think that Tarasenko minded that much anyways, because he wanted out at that time.
Well, I think that, again, I think there was a lot more made of that than what really was. I don't think he really wanted out, to be honest with you. I think that was a negotiating, bargaining chip. I think that was to say, hey, what's your plan here? Mm-hmm. We want to know what your plan is, because we didn't like what we saw last year. And I really do. I had a private conversation with Tarasenko, and I've said that in the past. I can't say what he said to me, and I won't say what he said to me, but there were a couple things that he said that just lead me to believe that a lot of what got out isn't what happened.
Fair enough.
Right? If that makes some sense. Joshua was asking about any word on Perron. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Montreal couldn't afford him. Plus, Fleury would have just retired instead of going to Montreal. Oh, I absolutely agree with that. Lance says Tarasenko's still asking for a trade, and Armstrong is still asking for an arm and two legs. No, Lance.
I still don't understand that full Tarasenko story.
And I also, I'm not discrediting Lance. I'm really not. I just think that there's a lot of misinformation out there. I know Lance is a little more connected than I am, but I just find it really hard to believe. And Lance, please don't take this wrong, buddy. I just find it really hard to believe that guy wants a trade, especially the way he came out of in that press conference that he had, talking with I can't think of his name now, Scott Warman, right? I mean, his hair looked like he had just put his hand on a Tesla ball, right? His hair looked like he put his hand on a Tesla ball. He was comfortable in his own skin, right? You don't come out like that unless you're comfortable in your own skin. And the way he talked, that wasn't a guy saying that I'm not happy being here. He was really, and he kept saying something, unselfish play. They're unselfish. That's unselfish. You kept hearing that word from him. I really think, first of all, I think that's what happened in the first. The play was really, really, really selfish. And that's why the Blues got down 1-0. And I think it got hammered into everybody to stop being selfish and make plays happen. And I'll tell you a couple of them that I'll tell you who I thought was extremely selfish, and maybe a lot of people didn't see this, and we'll talk a little more later. I thought Kyrou was on the edge of selfishness because he keeps outskating his coverage. Agree, disagree.
That we talked about a little back ago, outrunning your coverage again.
Yeah, it just feels like he does that.
I don't necessarily think that he does that per se, but I do feel like he tries to be a little too fancy. He's always trying to do that extra little, step or, fancy like. But
Tarasenko's a little bit the same way too, especially
Tarasenko is not. Tarasenko will not try the between the legs crap that Kyrou does.
Yeah, no. Tarasenko's fancy is vision, right? There's a difference between trying to be Matt Tkachuk and skate up, put your stick between your legs and pop it into the net in front of the goalie, and getting the puck to the guy that nobody else sees from nowhere. There's a difference in that, and Tarasenko's fancy is in his vision. That pass to Buschhhhh to start the scoring, that, while you might want to call that fancy, that wasn't unselfish, and he's done it before.
I wouldn't say that was fancy. That was gritty. That was, good vision.
Right? Do you want to know the first time that I really caught him doing that was the Winter Classic. He threw that puck across the center of ice that hit a Blackhawk skate and went in the net. That was his first goal. That was the goal that blew the Winter Classic open, and the goals did it.
Which Winter Classic was this one?
The only one we've been in, 16.
Oh.
Right? The only one we've been in, 16. He was on the money. On the money. Thanks, Joshua. Joshua says that he did a light skate workout at practice rink today, and he's day to day. I did hear he was day to day. So as long as he's putting the numbers up, he is. I don't know. I don't care how Kyrou plays. And okay, that might be fair, but how much of that at some point is going to affect the team? And that's my concern.
I'm with you on that, because
yes,
it's a team effort, and when one man is trying to just be the one-man show, it doesn't bode well for a team.
Right? So that's one of the things that happened in the last couple of days. The other thing that happened yesterday, and I like to call this fight, or bite. Let's take a look.
Oh, this will be a good one right here off the bat. I still can't get over this.
Well, I'm going to try and pull it up for you guys. You know, I have a really, really different view of this. So,
And plus, when I first shared that post the other day, my ultimate big question, because I just happened to see this come up on my phone, and I was in the store with my dad over, and I was like, why would he do this? In the name of all that is sanity, why?
Well, we'll talk about that here in a second. Let's check out Fight, Flight, or Bite.
Today on Gustafson, he'll take no chances and take the whistle, and now we'll get a little shoving match after the whistle here. Maybe a little more in the corner with Lemieux and Lazard involved. Brady Tkachuk in there, and Tkachuk is all tangled up right in the corner, and linesman Libor Suchanek trying to break up Tkachuk and Lemieux.
Well, this is a family feud that goes back a lot longer than just the last few seasons these guys have played against each other. Their fathers have battled hard over the years as well. And these two guys, whether they're lying down or standing up, they're still throwing punches.
Battle in the bloodlines here. There's some extra shots being given here.
Oh no, they're on the ground. They haven't
They're
stopped.
still going.
And I don't know if he thinks he bit him or.
He is.
Yeah,
He's saying he bit me. Don't read lips kicks, but Tkachuk trying to claim that.
There we go. So I've heard Tim Peel came out and said that that he sees this being like a 10 to 20 game suspension, and for me, I got no issue with this. I have absolute.
Yes, I don't have any issue with it either. Or in fact, you just kind of semi-answered my question. I was like, well, I wonder what's the discipline aftermath's going to come out of all of this.
I'm telling you, I don't have an issue with the bite.
I don't either.
Oh.
My stance is that if you're going to stick your hand in someone's face during a fight, the reflex is going to be to bite, because nobody wants a hand over their mouth.
Fight, flight, or see, this is the thing. So I'll tell you this. I have been in a lot of fights in my life. Mm-hmm. I have gotten my ass kicked a lot. If I'm in a clinch like that and someone is punching me in the face, right? And I can't get up, I can't move, I can't do anything. I'm going to bite. I'm going to do whatever I can to protect myself, right? I have you watch that. Lemieux is getting, Brady takes 2 or 3, and I mean solid punches to his face. At one point, he's trying to push him away, and it's towards the end where you can see Lemieux go down and take the chunk, right? You can see him take the chunk. This is not this is not a Mike Tyson issue where Mike Tyson's in the hug and just bites him out of spite. That's different. This was a fight or flight response. And in this case, I'm sorry, I don't have an issue with the bite. I really don't. It's animalistic, and I take it, and I'm okay with that.
Now that you can out the details on that, I can actually now start to see the picture on that as well. After you laid out the details,
right? It just when you do that, then you get punched in the face and have one of your big guys stand up for you. And again, Jose, I understand what you're saying. Trust me, I do. And I know how bad this sounds, but you got to understand, in a clinch, when you're down like that, when all of that happens, you know what? You're wrong.
You're totally wrong.
In a fight, whatever you have, whatever you got, whatever way you can to get away from it, to win it absolutely. When you think of fighting, you're thinking of boxing style, okay? Yes. That was a street brawl. When they go down on the ice like that, it became a street brawl. I
was gonna say, where do you see a boxing match at? Like you said, boom, Like that was a basically instant street brawl, like East St. Louis type of stuff.
Yeah, no, it went to a street brawl, and once it goes to a street brawl, I'm okay. I mean, I get it. I know I'm going to lose viewers over this. I know I'm going to have people, tell me how fucked up I am. Pardon the language, but you're right. But at some point, the fact that you're in a hockey game goes away. You forget that. You don't see that. All you see, I'm telling you, all of you felt was the fist in his face.
Yep.
He's got the ref on top of him while the ref is trying to help. He's not helping. He's actually helping hold him down there. Right?
I'm with you, Guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry if I'm in a fight with someone and they put their hand in my face like that, I'm a bite.
Come on, these guys don't wear, they're tough enough. Take a puck to the mouth. A punch is one thing, you don't bite. And Jose, I get what you're saying. I really do.
I do too. I secondhand that motion.
Right? I get what you're saying. However, the thing that goes away, and this is what I think everyone needs to understand, the fact that they were on skates, the fact that they were playing a game, went away. In his mind, in Claude Lemieux's mind, in Brady Tkachuk's mind, it went away. Right? The referees, while they're trying to break them up, okay, great, they're trying to break them up, but Brady, and I love Brady. I don't have an issue with Brady. I don't have an issue with Matt. But these guys have a reputation for doing stuff like this. And, hey, I'm not against doing that either. Trust me. In a fight with a guy bigger than me, that's the first thing I'm going after. And if you want to call me a dirty, fine. Because you know what? In a street brawl, somebody usually goes to the hospital for a long period of time or the morgue. Mm-hmm. Right?
And that's the consistent end result.
I'll tell you what. I'll be honest right now. There is someone in St. Louis who has absolutely threatened me. And I am terrified right now of coming back home when I come back home. I'm terrified of it. Absolutely, because I know this guy's bigger than me. I know this guy carries a weapon. Right? If something goes down, I'm going to do whatever I can to protect myself and not end up in a hospital or a morgue. I'm sorry. I know this is coming. I know when I'm there, I'm carrying, I'm going to have something in my hand at times. I'm going to have something in my hand at times to make sure I'm protecting myself. Mm-hmm. Right? I'm sorry, and in this case, if he got one game, I'd be okay with that. Anything more than one game, I'm not. If the fight is bad enough.
Well, one thing that
Brady should have gotten a 10-minute minor, a major, right? Brady should have gotten a 10-minute misconduct or even a game misconduct. I know he got bit, but while the refs are trying to break it up, he's still throwing punches in the guy's face. Once you go down, the gentleman rule is that's it, right? Fight's over.
Yep.
But these guys went straight down. There was bad blood, and it spilled over and it kept going.
I was going to say, this was definitely taken to a much more unprecedented level after that breakup from the refs from what I saw in that video.
Yeah, I mean, so for me, look, I don't think he should have bit him. I really don't. But I understand why he did. And I think that has
it's a reflex. Like, when you're in that kind of situation, just like Buschhhhh with a headbutt, when you're in that kind of situation, you forget what's going on necessarily, that you're in a hockey game, and you just react.
And plus, we humans are kind of like designed with like a little self-defense mechanism that just ticks on at certain moments of time. We're like built survivalist machines. That's one of our whatchamacallits as a human.
Yeah, absolutely it is. And at some point, right, there's going to be a major issue with that. And I don't know what else to say there. There's nothing that any of us can do about it, but this is what happens. And unfortunately, the Bergevin or Lemieux bidding. Now, the Lemieux and Tkachuks have battled for a long time when both their fathers had fought a couple of different times. I look at this and I go, this was not a hockey fight. And it wasn't a hockey fight from the beginning because they went down so quick. Right? And does that not, now I know Jose doesn't agree with me, and you know what? That's absolutely fine. That's what the great part of this show is. You're allowed not to do that.
You're entitled to your own opinions and views.
All I'm saying, if people keep biting and headbutting, the league will probably come down on fighting in this day and age. That's a good point. I think and it's not that, okay? This wasn't a fight. There's a difference between a fight and a brawl. This was a brawl. The headbutting, Buschhhhh should have just dropped his gloves and took a swing. To be honest. And if that's what he had done, no penalty whatsoever. Right? No matter what was said, any of that, you throw your gloves down and then start swinging, right? In the old days, they taught you. Have you guys ever seen the movie? And I'm hoping I get it right. Youngblood.
Yes.
Right. That was the older style of fighting. When they're teaching the Youngblood how to fight, when his dad and his brother are teaching him how to fight, they're telling him you go for that jersey to pull it over his head, right? Because then he can't. His arms are stuck. Well, they've kind of taken that out now, right? They've taken that away. But what happens is guys, when they drop their gloves, they're throwing punches at helmets. Those helmets are hard. That's the first thing you need to do is get that helmet off, right? If you're going to throw
helmet has like so many layers of the material and protection on the head, like you said, the real hard shelled helmets.
Well, you got that plastic that extends down, this far down to their nose, right? And it's right here. If you're on the only place that you can really hit, you have a very small target in a fight. If you're hitting him on you're taking more of a chance of hurting your hands. Really, in a fight, in a hockey fight, if you can't pull that jersey over, you want to be hitting them like lower. You want to be hitting them body blows more or less, right? Or you want to have dead on, right here towards the jaw. Because you hit anything else, you're taking a chance of breaking your hand, right?
Right, yeah. Like you said, you have just like a very small target, which is like up and like in a little bit in this area, like.
Yeah, because that visor kind of stops right here, right? That visor stops about right here. And you think about it, football is worse. They just 100% just punch the helmet. Yeah. So that's just, I don't have a problem with fighting in the sport. I don't. I think that some of the fights in the sports are unnecessary, right?
Exactly. That's what I was getting ready to say too. Yeah, because I don't have too much of a problem seeing fights in hockey either. But in cases like this, though, that's when they kind of like get a little bit too carried away with it and make it a little bit too more personal to what it needs to be.
Well, no. Well, see, now this here was building up throughout the game. Okay, this was building up. This needed to be a fight. Yeah, to be honest, while I'm saying I have no issue with this fight whatsoever. Okay? Now, Ian's saying we need more fights. We need fights that are legitimate fights. Guys that are getting in there. We need the ice guardians. The guys that are in there protecting other guys. That's what we need. The crap where they drop the gloves on a puck drop, that's the stuff I actually don't like.
Yep.
Right? The fight or the other day, I forget who it was. someone had a goal and assist and was looking for a fight just to get a Gordie Howe hat trick. That's to me, that's junk, right?
I was gonna say that was a little bit unnecessary right there.
It is. It is unnecessary. That's not what the fight helps do, right? Too many people look at the movie Goon, and I got to tell you, the worst movie I've ever seen is Goon 2. Oh my God, did I hate that movie? I can't even believe I watched it, the whole thing. It was horrible. That's not even close to what hockey should be, right? That's not what hockey should be.
No.
Miracle on Ice, the Russian Miracle, that's a true example of what hockey needs to be.
Right? You
Stuff
know,
like that.
Yeah,
even though it's on an international level, but it's still kind of like demonstrates.
Now, in the international game, fighting is now in international, fighting is illegal, right? Fighting is a game misconduct and a suspension.
Ooh.
Right? And now that's the international game. That's the IOC or the IIOF, the International IIHF, International Ice Hockey Federation. So in the World Cup, the World Championships, the Olympics, all of those things, right? So Jose says, here's why I disagree with you, Guy. Lemieux decided to get into a fight with Tkachuk. Can't take the beating, then he should have just backed down and turtled like Matt Tkachuk did against Kazan. And you know what? You're right at a point.
You see, I gotta stand my ground though. Like when you put your hand on someone's mouth when they're sandwiched between you and someone on top of them, the reaction is going to be a reflex bite.
Oh no, I'm with you. It is. You know how many?
Exactly. Because I have encountered one situation like that in my life too, back in the past, back when I was younger, and that's all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah, well, Chris, I get that, man. I really do. Trust me, I was picked on as a kid, so I'm picked on as an adult. So nothing new here.
Well, I have 6 brothers, so I'm a little scrappy.
Yeah, but you have 3 daughters,
Mm-hmm.
right? Your oldest daughter is 10, right?
Yes.
Your youngest daughter is
5.
5, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your youngest daughter also deals with, I don't know, a disability. I know an ability. Your older daughter.
She has autism.
Okay. Well, I didn't want to. I don't
It's
want to
all
say.
right. Hey, I
right?
embrace it.
Okay. She has autism. Your youngest daughter does not understand that if her and her older sister are getting into a fight, that you're not supposed to bite. I guarantee you she's bit both of your older daughters on numerous occasions.
Actually, she hasn't, but she bites herself all the time.
Okay, but you see what I'm saying? That she, there's that animalistic point. You think about this. We are the only animal, and yes, human beings are animals, that use their fists instead of their mouths. Look at any other animal that fights, they bite.
Mm-hmm.
That's how the fight is. It's a bite, right? So at some point, it becomes animalistic. Has anyone swung their stick as a weapon and oh yeah, Ryan, this happened. I see what you're saying. I don't remember who it was. This was a while back. This was a racial incident actually. A white player. I want to say Savard, but it wasn't. Somebody might remember this. Kangaroos and rabbits. Okay. Well, but I know kangaroos bite. I'm not sure about rabbits, but I know kangaroos bite.
Rabbits bite.
Huh?
Rabbits bites.
Rabbits bite. Todd Bertuzzi. Okay. Bertuzzi took his stick and swung it at a black player's head from behind. Right? I remember this. I know he got suspended like 10 games. I know the player that got hit in the head, I don't think he came back in the league. Right? Kangaroos got Freddy Cougar claws. Well, I know they box. I know kangaroos box. I remember a movie about that. So, but at the same time, they also use their mouths. So that's what I was kind of getting at. By the way, I have the dumpster fire game on right now, Vancouver versus Montreal, and it's 2-1 Vancouver. So they're doing pretty good tonight.
Tell you what, the Kraken have been surprising me a little bit lately too, going up against a couple of top teams.
Yeah, they were gonna. They're gonna win some games. They're not gonna make the playoffs, but they're gonna win some games. They're not gonna be they're not gonna be an automatic W. They got guys that can play, right? And they do, and they've got a couple of they got at least 2 Stanley Cup rings on that team, if not more, right?
Yeah, and Schwartz is one of them too, because he's one of our former guys.
Dunn and Schwartz, So they've got guys on there that can play, absolutely. And speaking of animals, what a great segue.
This is my favorite part of the show tonight.
Yeah, the rat.
He said it was Stephen Moore guy.
Yeah, no, I think it was Moore that got hit. I can't remember. We can look it up later, but I think it was Moore that got. I think it was Bertuzzi that hit Moore, if I remember right. I mean, just whacked him right across the head.
Well, then it wasn't a racial thing because Moore is not black.
Okay, well, I remember one of them was a racial. It was a black guy. It was a black player that got hit. I do remember that. This is when Bertuzzi comes from behind and sucker punch Moore. No, this wasn't a sucker punch. This was a stick to the head. Mm-hmm. I remember that. It was using the stick as a weapon, swinging stick as a weapon. I remember that. Somebody out there might remember it. But hey, Joshua Ian and Brad Pond, thanks for the thumbs up, man. We really appreciate that on Facebook. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, especially for tonight's segment that we're talking about here, guys. So it's definitely really well appreciated. We love each and every single one of you.
Absolutely, bud. Absolutely. So the rat is in the news. Brad Marchand. He's
forever called the liquor by me. Ever since that incident, I'll never forget that.
He didn't just do it once. I think he did it 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, he did it several times.
Yeah, he did it several times, and it just, the league had to come out and say stop. So I want to show the video, but when I show it, unfortunately, it will not have sound. Right? I can't show it. When the NHL shows their videos, my Chrome does not show their videos, so I have to use a different thing to show it. So if you give me a second, I'm going to show. Unfortunately, it's not going to have sound. I wish I could show it with sound. Actually, maybe I can. This may or may not work. So you guys may hear some of this. A second.
While Guy is pulling up the video of what he's going to be basically illustrating was that Marchand got suspended 3 games for slew-footing a Canucks D.
Okay, here we go. Let's see if this will work. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to hear it or not, to be honest with you.
Sunday night in Boston, Bruins forward Brad Marchand delivered a slew foot to Canucks defenseman Oliver Ekman-Larsson. As the video shows, Marchand and Ekman-Larsson skate toward the boards with speed in pursuit of a loose puck, jockeying for position as they approach the wall. Marchand engages with his upper body, pulling Ekman-Larsson backwards as he simultaneously extends his right leg to use as leverage in taking Ekman-Larsson down. These actions cause Ekman-Larsson to fall dangerously to the ice. This is slew footing. It is important to note that there are many occasions during the course of a game where players use either their legs or their stick and upper body to restrain or impede opponents, or to gain leverage during a puck battle. When these plays rise to the level of being illegal, the vast majority of them can be adequately punished with in-game penalties. What causes this play to rise to the level of supplemental discipline is Marchand's use of both his upper and lower body to take Ekman-Larsson to the ice in a dangerous fashion, and the speed at which the players are traveling toward the boards. To summarize, this is slew footing. Marchand has been suspended 6 times in his 822-game NHL career, including a previous suspension for slew footing. The Department of Player Safety has suspended Brad Marchand for 3 games.
Okay, I don't know if you guys can hear that. I hope you could.
I did.
Okay, great. Yeah, I'm going to try and pull it out here. Okay, first
And
of
I
all,
will say one thing right off the get-go was basically, regarding Marchand's suspension history, I think with this one, he should have maybe been slapped with a fine because he's been suspended multiple times, apparently, from what I'm hearing on this occasion and others.
yeah.
I mean, if you guys disagree, then I'm open.
Here's the problem with NHL fines. They are minuscule.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about this, and if you remember the article I wrote about player safety last season, I talked about, the fines are, I think the maximum fine that they can give any player is $15,000.
Which is pocket change to them.
Yeah, even for guys making $750,000, right? Even for guys making $750,000, $15,000 isn't even, a shift, basically, right? It's a shift, a couple of shifts they got fined for. It doesn't do anything. Suspensions are where it hits them because they lose the game check, right? They lose those game checks, and that goes to the player assistance fund. For me, first of all, this is, you talk about the slew foot that, you talk about the slew foot that Subban did, right? That ended up tearing up
Blaze's knee.
Yeah, God, I can't, man, when I go blank, I go really blank. Now you know what happens when I try and write. This is how blank I go.
I hate that when that happens.
Yeah.
For you, it's writer's block.
Yeah. Who is it? Blaze, Sammy Blaze, right? That was Blaze's knee that got tore up, I think.
Yeah, it was Sammy Blaze.
Yeah, Sammy Blaze. Now you look at that slew foot, and that one really, there's no speed in that. What tears Sammy's knee is he kind of fights against it. Right? And I'm not blaming him here. I'm just saying that's what I think does it. You can see Sam put his ice into the skate, or skate into the ice, right? To me, what this one is almost as bad, or if not, this one is worse than the one against Bozak a few games ago. That got a 1 game. I think it was a 1 game suspension.
Yeah, it was a 1.
Right? I mean, that one was close to the board, so, I mean, they sped into the board. This, as far back as they are, and this, I mean, they got speed going into it. He's damn lucky not to get both of his legs broke the way he hit the ground with his legs up like that. If he's 6 inches closer to the boards when that happens, and my issue is, this is his 6th suspension. 3 games, not enough. Right? This should have been 6 games, should have been 10 games. Right?
Yeah, especially regarding his history, knowing that he is a repeat offender.
Absolutely. Now, for the last 10 minutes we're going to talk about this. Jose says the Marchand slew foot's one of the worst ones ever. This should get, well, I mean, he's got a penchant for going after people's knees. Right? And that's huge there. Joshua wants to know how we beat the Lightning.
Taking out people's knees and licking opponents. What a guy.
Yeah, he is one of the best. Well, Josh, I think the way that we beat the Lightning is we beat them the same way, or we play them the exact same way we played them in 2019. Now, look, we have talked about this over and over again, that this is not 2019, and I get it. However, let's go back to 2019. February, I want to say 7th or 8th, where maybe a little bit earlier in the month. Right? It's right after. I see that, Jose. Right after the All-Star game. And the Blues the Blues are just starting on this, what's now an historic winning streak. They faced Florida the night before, and came from behind to beat them. I don't think it was in overtime, but it might have been in overtime. But then a couple of nights later, actually on subject, a couple of nights later, we're playing Tampa. Tampa at this point is running the gambit. They're considered the best team in the league. They're pushing towards that record, 72 wins, right? 70 wins. That's record of 70 wins. They're pushing towards
and they had the best amount of points that year too, I think, and they won the President's Cup or President's Trophy.
Yeah, and the Blues came out and played them like they were just as good as them. It was a 0-0. It was a 1-0 overtime win. I think Tarasenko ended up getting the goal on that one.
I think I do vaguely remember that. Yeah, and I was
that game to me, of every game that season, that's the game that turns the season around. That's the game that tells everybody in that locker room, we can do this. Both Florida and Tampa, we got 4 games against them. It's brutal. I seen Joshua put that up earlier. It's brutal, but we beat them by playing our game. Play our game. Cycle the puck. Get the puck in deep. Start a cycle. Take your shots and limit theirs. When we do that, we're one of the best in the league. We can cycle the puck just as good as they do, right? Let Bennington be Bennington. Let him see shots. Let him see shots. You know, don't completely collapse on him, but take shots away too. Make sure that you're taking away the hard shots and only giving them the long distance shots. You know, don't be deflecting them towards the net. If you're going to deflect them, make sure you deflect them away from the net. You go into this game with the mindset you're as good as they are.
Mm-hmm.
That's the mindset. This is a mindset game. It's not, and I'm sorry, it's not a talent on talent thing. It's a mindset game. You have to go in there with the mindset. This is the last 2 Stanley Cup champions facing each other for the first time since the opening night of 2019.
Yeah, so this is actually going to be a historic game for both sides.
Right? The last time that 2 Stanley Cup champions faced each other was in 2019. The Blues played Washington opening night, lost in overtime. Right? This game, Tampa only played their own players last season. Or only played in their division. So the following when Tampa won the Cup, they only played in their division the next season, so they didn't face a prior Stanley Cup champion, the Blues. So this is the first time they're facing the Blues. I think they may have since they won the Cup, right? Since they've won a Cup, this is the first time they're facing the Blues. This is
the first time in a little while that we're gonna see our old buddy boy Pat Maroon.
No, we did see. Well, it will be in a while. We did see him that season. Because Tampa came to St. Louis, I remember when he came to St. Louis and got his ring, right?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. I forgot that.
I think Tampa beat him that night. I don't completely. But overall, it all comes down to this. Go in there with the mindset, you're as good as they are. Or better. Right?
You see, I'm not so worried about that, though, because it seems like the Blues play much better against teams that are better than them.
Well, I would say that normally, but you look at they lost the Edmonton game. They lost
very close games. They played well. They were well played games. They are capable of playing with teams that are better than them.
Yeah, however, I agree with Ashley there because we do have the potential. I've seen it.
Okay, you're right. However, you could lose those games. You can't lose these. These
right.
You look at the standings. There's something really, really interesting in the standings right now. You look at our standing and you go, "Oh, we're in second place." No, we're not. We're in
point
third.
Percentage.
Colorado has 3 games in hand. Points percentage, they are whopping everybody. That team has gotten hot at the right time. They're moving up the standings. They've got so many games in hand, right? It just takes a lot away from what St. Louis needs to do. Yeah, we're in a close, tight division. We're in a very tough division, right? And while we're playing,
wise we are.
while we're playing these Eastern teams for the next 6 games, we need to gain points.
Mm-hmm.
We need to get these points. Jose says to beat Tampa, we need to get through the neutral zone and control the puck going into their zone. We need to cycle the puck down low with traffic in front of the net and get some defensemen driving to the net. We also need to get dirty goals and all of that. I mean, that's what happened against Columbus.
100% agree, Jose.
Right?
That's exactly what we need to do. That just goes back to talk about that mindset that we need to have once again.
Okay, also tomorrow we're in St. Louis. The game is at 7 St. Louis time, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Ashley, I want to do the pregame show 45 minutes early. You okay with that?
Yes.
Okay, I want to give a little more time to talk about this game, big game. And the other thing is, for everybody watching, for all you guys, this is the only pregame show you're getting tomorrow. It is on ESPN Plus and Hulu. So if you want a pregame show, come on here. I'm going to reach out to a couple of people. I was going to hope to get Jeff Brown on board, but I know Jeff is going to be at the game now.
Yeah, his son's going to be there.
Logan Brown got called up.
Sorry, guys. So the game's not going to be on regular TV tomorrow. It's ESPN and Plus and Hulu again?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Wow.
There's 4 games coming up that are ESPN and Hulu, right? And look, guys, you know what? This is part of the package. There's nothing we can do about it.
Nope.
I don't now. Here's the thing, right? If you can try ESPN Plus free for 7 days. I get it. Some people can't afford $7 a week or a month to get that.
I got ESPN Plus. That's no problem.
Yeah. But I know there's people out there that can't, right?
Mm-hmm.
My biggest issue with ESPN Plus is no pregame, right? They do their one. I think they have a show called The Point or something like that, where they kind are in the crease each game day and then something after. But you know what? That's too hard for me to find. And so for me, and not only that, I want a pregame that's going to look at the Blues both positively and negatively. And that's why I don't watch. I mean, the only reason I watch the Blues pregame and postgame shows is for the interviews, right? Mm-hmm. That's why we do it at the same time, because I want to give everybody a chance to open up and talk about what they see, right? I mean, I wish we got better following, but you know what? The following we got is great. I love it. Chris, thanks for coming on, man.
Absolutely. My pleasure as usual, guys. I love being here and commentating with you guys.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I know you went out and spent some of your own money to get Winnipeg 46 shots to Arizona's 15, and Arizona's winning. Go Arizona. You know what? Remember at the beginning of the season, remember something I said about Arizona?
Don't sleep.
I thought they were the team that could win in spite of everybody. Mm-hmm. They're starting to show that.
Yeah.
They're starting to show that. Scott Wedgwood is not as bad of goalie as everybody thinks he is. He's really starting to come into his own. I mean, I know he's 28, but goalies don't age. Goalies mature a lot later than skaters, right? There's a learning curve. The learning curve for a goalie is much, much steeper than it is for a regular skater, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, the thing with a skater, you can take a goalie, you can put him in the net, you can tie him to the net, you can shoot tennis ball, you can do all of that. But until he faces individual shooters with their different characteristics and all that stuff, never going to learn it, right? He's not going to learn it. You can imitate Gretzky all you want. You're not Gretzky. You're not Crosby. You're not Ovechkin. You're not Tkachuk. You're not
McKinnis.
Huh?
You're not McKinnis.
You're not McKinnis. You're not, you're not those guys. You're not McDavid. So until they see them, they can't develop. Even film study only does so much.
Yeah.
Right? It takes that time and time and time. And again, if you're in the Eastern Conference, you see McDavid twice a year. That's 120 minutes, and you may not see him one of those games.
Mm-hmm.
But it takes that time to learn, and that's why I don't, that's why I try not to get so heavy on goalies, but also it's the defense. They play differently with different goalies. Different goalies need different things from different defense.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you what Martin Brodeur was so good at. He was the best at directing his defense. Watch his games, right? You can hear him.
Mm-hmm.
You can hear him shouting at his defense, right? When he came to St. Louis and started getting in with Allen, when Allen started to get a little bit better in 17, Allen was telling his defense what to do. Cover him, I got this. Cover that, I got this. I see this, I don't see that. He was talking.
Mm-hmm.
Too many goalies don't do that. It's one thing I don't hear from Bennington out there. I'd like to hear Bennington a lot more, but you know what? Bennington's a different style of goalie. I get that. And what I see from Bennington right now is trust. There is a ton of trust in Bennington. And I do see that. My issue with Bennington is always more with the fan base than it is with Bennington. The fan base thinks he's an elite goalie, and he's not
anymore.
Well, yeah, because they're turning on him really quick.
Kind of lost some of his luster and status over the course of a year.
No, I just think that fans in St. Louis tend to be a little fickle. But that's
Fickle.
what Allen saw.
Fickle isn't even the right word. That's an understatement.
Well, I'm
right?
trying to be polite, but it's what Allen saw too. As soon as Allen started slipping, everybody turned against him. Well, I'm a Bennington fan. I mean, I'm not going to blow smoke up your butt when he's not playing well. I'll admit he's playing well. I mean, whenever I thought he wasn't, I unmuzzled you. Remember what I said? Just go. Just say it.
Yep.
So I'm a realist.
Yeah.
But I do like Bennington. I will defend him when he deserves to be defended.
Exactly.
No, I'm with it too. And we're getting a Go Blues from Jacob. Thank you, Jacob. Marianne. I'm flustered it's not on center ice either, but there's nothing we can do about it. Vancouver, the dumpster fire beats Montreal, the dumpster fire, 2-1. Nice game.
And then Arizona did beat Winnipeg.
Well, that's good for us because Winnipeg was.
What was the final of the Kraken game, real quick?
I haven't seen, bud.
I know it was quite a blowout. Hold on. I'm trying to pull it up right now.
Here we go. 7-4 Kraken won.
Who'd they play tonight?
Sabres.
Sabres.
Okay. That's dumpster fire. Again, tonight was the dumpster fire games. But no, for me, I don't mind what I think what the Kraken are doing is smart.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. I think the Kraken. I'll tell you what, and I've seen it in. I love Kim to death, right? I do. I think she's going to be a little bit better than your average fan, but you're already seeing the Knight fan base starting to slip away, right? The first time that team misses the playoffs, the next year, the opening night, they'll be lucky to sell out. They'll be lucky to have a set. It'll all depend on who they bring, the opponent is, on whether or not they sell out, right?
And plus, in my mind, I think that basically when they lost Fleury and Fleury got screwed on that trade deal to the Blackhawks, that was kind of like a little bit of the Achilles heel to the Golden Knights, from what I'm seeing.
The Fleury trade, I mean, you look at it, the Fleury trade is a domino from Petrangelo, right? Petrangelo's contract was so big. Fleury's on the last year of his contract. They knew they weren't going to re-sign him, right? They knew that if they kept Fleury, they were going to run into salary cap issues, and they were going to have periods where they were only going to dress 18 players down 2 guys, right?
I mean, they already had to go down at least one this season
due to salary cap.
reasons.
They've had
Yeah.
it for the last couple of seasons. They've had that issue.
Yes,
Right?
I can understand trying to go down, trying to trim and save and expand cap space all at the same time.
Yeah, so I mean they're going to run. This is going to get deeper, right? This is going to get deeper, and because they did this, because they left these, and I'm trying to think of the best way to say this, because they let these fans. They didn't give these fans a chance to learn how to lose.
Mm-hmm.
These fans do not know what it's like to lose. That when they do learn to lose, it's going to kill them. It happened to the Blues. The Blues made the playoffs for like 8 straight years.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they lost for a couple of years, I mean, I remember talking to Bruce about this.
Oh,
Bruce about this, because Bruce came right in those years. He said the fans were great, but man, they didn't know how to lose. Right? And they started. The great thing about the Blues back then, the top dollar ticket was like $15.
Mm-hmm.
You go see the guy. I mean, that was that was a great time to go see it.
That was back then. Because how much is the average ticket now? Like $70 or so.
$70-$80, yeah, in the $70-$80 range. It's closer. But I mean, money was different back then too.
Mm-hmm.
But however, it was. I'm telling you, going to Blues games in the 70s and 80s was an experience. It wasn't like I went to Cardinals games, and that was just cheering and fans, and everybody wore jerseys. Everybody, I mean, I remember going with the scouts, sitting up in the upper echelon of Busch Stadium, Old Busch, right? And being afraid of falling, how steep that was,
Mm-hmm.
and still bringing a glove, thinking I might get a foul ball. But you went to a Blues game, shirt, tie, dress pants, dress shoes. It was an event. I mean, and I still do it to this day. When I go to games, I wear dress pants. I wear a dress shirt. I've worn ties under my jersey. I still do that. To me, that's what it is to go to a hockey game. Right? I guess I'm weird, but that's what I remember.
No,
I loved it.
You're just old-fashioned.
Yeah, well, I've never been called that before, but
In other words, it's like you're going to a hockey game business meeting combo, like when you're wearing the dress pants and all that.
It was. I don't know. I don't know if it was a show of respect. It was like, and I've talked to some of the older players. They talk about from the guys that grew up in Canada going to see Montreal and that and being in their best Sunday dress going to a hockey game. That translated in St. Louis. We did that. And you know what? Go back if you can watch. You can find the Monday Night Miracle on YouTube. Go watch that game. You don't see a lot of jerseys in the crowd. You see dresses. You see suits. You see button-down shirts, dress pants. I mean, you see a lot of that. Blouses. That's what it was. Even in the mid '80s, that's what it was. That was the incredibleness of going to a game back then.
And basically, right now in this day and age, anytime I see dressed people like that going to a sporting event is usually like at the biggest horse race of the year at the Kentucky Derby at Churchill Downs.
Yeah, no, it's times have changed. Things are different. However, it's just what it was for me, and that's what I remember and what I'm comfortable in, right? I mean, look at the Haley event, or that event, the Don Brown event. I was dressed kind of nice then too, right? I mean, that's just the way it was. Yeah, you're right there, bud.
Oh, yeah, St. Louis summers are bad, especially with the humidity levels. The humidity levels can be atrocious.
Oh, I remember, man. You got to remember, I grew up in St. Louis County. I grew up in Maryland Heights, right there at the confluence of the Mississippi and the Missouri River. So I got it all. I told people this. They think it's funny. They think I'm joking. Where the casino, where Hollywood Casino is, and where the Centrine Ice Center is,
Mhm.
I used to go fishing there. Right? That was part of the Missouri River. Right? The Missouri River came that far up.
Yeah, out of the Chesterfield, St. Charles area. Yeah, that there lies the Missouri River.
Yeah, so that that's where it was. So it was really interesting. Hey guys, great show tonight, right?
Yeah, we had a lot
I
of fun.
loved it.
Right? Hey Chris, thanks for coming on again. Really appreciate it. Ashley, are you ready for tomorrow? Big game, man.
Absolutely.
And I
I'm gonna
super
see. I'm gonna reach.
appreciate you nonetheless, guys. And I love the topics that we discussed tonight. And I'm looking forward to more appearances with you guys in the future.
Right? Yeah. Well, like I said, Chris, it won't be. It might be once a week or once every 2 weeks. It's not going to be all the time, but it's going to be when we have an open show, open fan or our topic, something like this. But we'll get you in. So don't worry. We'll find times when we can bring you in, but it's not going to be all the time, buddy.
Right. No, I understand, guy. I got you.
Okay, no problem, man. I'll talk to you later, Chris. Ash, tomorrow's big game. Big game.
Yes, it is.
Right?
I am so stoked.
I am too. I can't wait for tomorrow. We're going to have fun. We'll do a 45-minute show. Let everybody, I'll try and get it out early so we can let people know where the show is. And let's just have fun talking about what's going to be a big, big game.
Absolutely.
Okay, this is Guy for Ashley saying aloha, mahalo, and we'll see you all tomorrow night on a special 45-minute game show. Aloha, we're bleeding blue with you.
Go Blues! Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues!
Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues!